Hi guys, this is Summer's Calm. Gonna show you some of the anti-Widow Mine techniques from that thread, and it should be pretty fun. Alright, so first thing you need is 10 unupgraded Mutalisks. Got my Mutalisks and an Overseer, and if you'll notice, you can actually see Widow Mines. It's this little crater mark right here. So you can actually see where the Widow Mines are before you actually engage or need an Overseer. But to actually hit it, you do need the Overseer. So the technique described in the op is first you double-click, you bunch up your Mutalisks, then you move towards the mine, and then right-click it, and then kill it, and then run away as soon as possible. Otherwise, bad stuff could happen. Mainly, you just want to kill it as soon as possible. The running away part isn't necessary unless they're right next to each other and you're risking getting hit by another mine. So, again, get all plumped up and then run away. Because, I mean, you have to run away, get away from possible Widow Mines that could hit you, like this guy. So it does take practice. At first, I was like, oh god, I keep getting hit. And the Widow Mine range is very deceptively big. Like, just right, look how close that is from hitting. So, whenever you start this process, make sure you don't do it like, if I was a little bit closer to it, I would start getting hit, and then this wouldn't work, and I would take a lot of casualties. So make sure you clump up pretty sizably out of range, so you're guaranteed not to get hit by a Widow Mine whenever they start spreading out. And it'll work just fine. Just like that. So kind of like BW Micro, Needle Micro if you did that. And then there's another technique you can do. I didn't know why the op didn't recommend it, but I thought it was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I realized it was glitchy. And this method is, you still get this, but then you hold shift, target the Widow Mine, and then target backwards. And you see why this doesn't work. For some reason, if it worked, you would not need to worry about pulling away too soon and getting your Widow Mine or your Mutalisks all chopped up. For some reason, if you right-click on them, and I'm so glad it happened that time, because sometimes it works flawlessly. But yeah, you just do that. Sometimes, for some reason, just a couple Mutalisks, that time it worked perfectly fine. I just didn't have 10 Mutalisks in my control group. But yeah, some Mutalisks just don't actually deal the damage and then leave, but they just leave as soon as they get anywhere and you're close to that attack move. The other thing I'm going to take a look at is anti-Ling, you know, anti-getting your entire flock of Lings getting killed. So we have, here, let me fly some Mutalisks over here to show you. Here's 3 in a row. Oh, I forgot to talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about that first. So if you have 3 of them that are just really tight-knit together, engage from the side, wherever they're, so you're not facing just a brunt wall. And even if they're this close, you can still snipe them out. It's using the same technique. Just make sure you run away as soon as possible, and your splash will make hitting the next ones even easier. And that's all you have to do. So, Mutalisks, most cost efficient unit first Widow Mines ever, if you micro them. Okay, so the other technique, which I guess I will use this guy to go see and demonstrate the placement of these mines. Here I have 2 that are right next to each other. And then this next group I have staggered, 2 Widow Mines that are staggered. So what happens, this guy's got to go away or my wings are just going to attack him. What happens is, it's like what life does, is while you're moving, you hold shift, left click a Ling, move back, or just hit the Q key, don't hold position because then you get the Ling stuck in your group. And then the Ling will, you know, be staggered ahead of your group. But the one downside to this is you have to know how many Widow Mines you might encounter. So if you're trying to be safe and you don't know if there's necessarily mines, you could afford to just right-click, get out 2 Lings, halt, finish the move command, and then you'll have 2 Lings ahead of the group. Maybe a little more separation than that. But that's pretty good, because then if you run into 2 Widow Mines that are right next to each other, both the Lings will die. One thing to keep in note, though, if you're a Terran player, and you'll see this, is watch this. So separate, hold position, go. Oh, I missed with one of them. Yeah, that's the one problem. One Ling might just run right out of the range. But generally that's pretty safe. So if these guys went, yeah, the top guy missed the bottom one. But generally that works. I mean, that's why it's better to know where the mines are than not. So, but yeah, that technique should work, and you just follow with the links behind them. And you go kill the Terran army. So with a staggered, this is actually better for Terran, having the mines staggered if you're trying to catch lings, and here's why. If I separate out 2 lings and then go, boom, that happens. Why does this happen? If you have 2 lings running along, what happens is this mine targets this guy, and this guy dies as he enters this mine's range. So this mine gets confused because it targets this ling. And then this guy comes along unhindered and doesn't actually catch a Widow Mine shot, and this guy still has a free shot. So whenever your residual lings come by, these guys are actually all going to die by that mine because this guy didn't catch that mine. So that's a good technique. If you want to catch lings and you're expecting, like, if you have like a lane going horizontally or vertically, you would just stagger one here, and that'll actually catch 2 lings and only get one of the lings to die, and then you'll catch the army and kill, like, 60 lings as Widow Mines. I hope you guys enjoyed these micro techniques and just a little bit of gameplay tips. If you're gonna do the Muta micro, absolutely practice this in the map editor or something first, because you will lose so many mutas trying to practice this at first. It's really tricky. You get used to it and you should be pretty proficient at it. I wish if anyone knows a fix to the shift click thing, because that method would be superior, because if it would just work and just work properly and everyone does their damage, then it would be a lot easier than making sure you don't hit and then pull back too soon so the last guy doesn't do the damage. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.